You know, man, check this. The lass has been going on and on about this thing called Pinterest. You know that? Huh?
Yeah, that thing.
Just, what the hell is it, man?
Reddit for chicks,
Dude, that's sexist.
but accurate.
Fair point. Coming up on this Linux Gamecast Weekly, 90s arcade racing, SG1 invades UT 2004, someone gets 10,000 subscribers, and Jordan has a frozen nightmare. Let's go. And welcome back to another Linux Gamecast Weekly. This is episode number 22, where we cover a lot of fun stuff, but in general, Linux Gamecast covers Linux gaming news, reviews, and basically, actually more importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. And joining me every week, this happy ball of sunshine and just glee, Mr. Svang. How's it going, man? You're doing good, I can tell. I mean, the color's back in your face. Fantastic. You can see that clear as day. So, what have you been up to, man?
It's been a rough week at the new job. A couple 12-hour days. Some nightmarish practices there have come and bit us in the tuchus.
What do you mean by nightmarish? Like, were you tied to a log and like laughed at by clowns repetitively?
Well, I don't think mimes really count as clowns. The silence, man, it's deafening.
The silence is deafening. But you got some new hardware, right? Actually, you went through a lot of work to get that.
Yeah. So what happened is it was decided by my parents that now was the best time, without my warning, to change our internet service plan, and they gave us this crappy piece of crap. So it's wonderfully redundant home gateway solution that works very poorly with my existing wireless card in the old desktop. So I had to go out and buy a new card, and actually it works quite a lot better than the old one. So there's a win in that. There wasn't the card I was looking for specifically. They couldn't find it. I was standing around for an hour as they were going through every single nook and cranny in the store trying to look for it. But eventually I settled on a gigabyte card using an Apple chipset, which performs a lot better than the RTL 2790, which is now on my hit list. Whoever designed that.
Well, I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. As Altamore says, this isn't the card you're looking for.
Not the card I'm looking for, but not a bad one. Actually, it comes with a mini PCI bridge, so I can stick actually a laptop wireless card in there and then bond the two of them for maximum throughput. Even though the number of collisions on the wireless network would probably result in
double complete
horribleness.
Wi-Fi. I had to do that. I know that's horrible.
Horrible. So what about you, then?
Well, I bought a new SSD. I bought one of those Samsung-y thingies, which was kind of neat. And basically, I've spent the week, well, with the game, trying to get some things set up, but trying to find something other than Skype for us to use, because it's not just us. Everyone across the board doing the inter-podcasting thing is having shit with it at this point. I mean, it's been cutting out, not working right. And even with our show, it's gotten worse. I would say definitely worse in the past 2 months, and not from anything we've done. Nothing's changed on our end. So
yeah, I just have to chime in. Every week, Ven asks me when we're doing like an audio test on like Saturday. It's like, did you change anything? Because you got to tell me if you touched anything. Listen, and I'm like, listen, buddy, I didn't touch anything.
I'm not,
Rogers.
First of all, I'm not your buddy guy.
I'm not your pal friend.
I'm not your pal. Bud. Best I could do.
Aha.
Yeah. Jordan wins that round. 1 mark on that. Well, now, a couple of things, SIP's rubbish. Maybe we can do some XMPP protocol. I found a thing that claims it'll let us use the Google Voice in video backend without actually going into a full Hangout. We might dick around with that later on. What's that, sir?
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, I was thinking maybe we could dick around with trying to set up an XMPP server, but I have no clue how to get that working.
I do.
So,
I do.
You do. Well, you've been doing research on that, so I haven't. But anyway.
What time is it, Jordan?
It's time for our favorite weekly dead horse to beat, and that's our
Resurrect the
update
Steam Linux
Steam update of the week.
What do we
got
coming up first, man?
We got we got a giant list of, because we know how nerds like to organize things into giant long lists. And this is the list of all games with existing ports on Steam or greenlit games going on to Steam existing Linux ports. And it's a fairly impressive.
Oh, I think we've lost Jordan.
No, I'm right here.
Okay, your audio completely dropped. We're back. Okay. Yeah, as Jordan was saying, man, it is a fantastic list, and this is, they're actively seeking out developers and saying, where's the Linux port? When is it coming? I think that's pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm. I'd say so. No, at least a bunch of them already work under Linux, so I'm wondering why they haven't been tossed into the Steam repo.
Well, it does seem like getting your game on Steam is a bit, it's a worthwhile pain in the ass, but it's still a pain in the ass, right?
Still a pain in the ass, but what can you do? That's the distribution network of choice for Linux games, or just games in general now. I guess soon to be Linux games.
Now, this is a very light week on Steam news, so we just wanted to throw this in. This I found on our favorite Reddit,
the underscore
Linux Gaming. But dude wrote in, he said, when downloading Steam on a fresh install of Windows, they actually advertised, not just a link, Steam for Linux on the download page. And you can see he's in the window thingy. That is so frightening. That brings back horrible, well, not really memories for me. Jesus, man, why do you got all these things plugged in your book? Anyway, that's cool, man. Check that out. It's
nice that they're well, I guess it was Valve's plan to always get behind that horse, so it's good that we're seeing some publicity on that.
Well, that's one thing that I hope that after the beta is done, they're going to put the money into the Steam box, so they're going to be pushing Linux. We will see it roll out in official support for many distributions. And do you know what would be an awesome distribution for them to put that on?
I think it's our favorite distribution.
Slackware. That's it, right?
Slackware. Yeah. Actually, I was going to say... crap, what was the one? Mandriva. That's what I was going to say. Mandriva.
What about Lindos? Let's see if the chat room has it.
It's Linode now.
Oh,
not Lindos.
Oh, that's right. Arch. That's what we're going to happen.
Give me an ARCH.
That spells zealot, and that's
indeed. But that about wraps it up for our Steam news this week.
You're absolutely right, man. Let's just jump right into the news. And this is something we talked about last week, man.
Yeah, the GCW Zero.
It's open source.
Retro gaming console powered by Linux.
But here's the thing.
And supposedly it's on track to making its goal.
Yeah, let's check that out. Actually, I think I had that open right here. At time of recording Sunday, $108,000 US wet sneaky caches have been pledged towards a goal of 130. 8 days left to go. Average donation per day 6,000. I think they might make it.
So about 5 days,
Yeah.
give or take, a little less.
That's going to be pretty cool. And, we didn't say anything negative about it. We just said it might be a very niche market, right? And I think that's what we came away with.
I think so. I said handheld. If it doesn't have exclusives, it's really gonna. Well, I guess we got to eat our words. We said that it wouldn't make it, and looks like it's gonna make it.
Hey, man, good on you guys, and that's what we're batting.
We've been wrong
Zed.
before. We'll be wrong again.
Damn right, that's what we're good at. Now let's kick back over to our favorite subreddit, Linux_gaming, and 10,000 subscribers. Take that,
10,000. Take that, or Mac Gaming, as you so succinctly put it in the notes.
Suck it.
Or, yeah. So, good on you, Linux Gaming.
Yeah,
you're our favorite subreddit, and it seems that you're 10,998 other people's favorite subreddit as well. So,
and it just goes to show, man. I mean, it has exploded since Steam, because everyone's running in and they're like, there's actually a Steam for Linux subreddit that gets one post a month. So everyone piled over, and it was neat to see our little subreddit, just tiny fraction, explode, and that's cool. All these links will be in the notes. Definitely subscribe to that Reddit. I'm in there a lot.
9,998. Wow. 10,998. I can't do math.
Do you ever play games on Wine through Linux? I mean, I know you're one of those horrible, filthy whores who dual boots, but every now and then you kick it into the Wine just out of convenience.
Every so often, if I can get it working. Usually older games tend to work a lot better under Wine than the newer stuff. Newer stuff I can barely get working, but my skill with the Wine foo pales in comparison with yours. So,
well, somebody wants to make that a lot easier, and that somebody's Play on Linux, and they get a new version out. Play on Linux and Play on Mac 4.1. Play on Mac. Who would want to play games? Yeah, never mind. 1.9 are out. Man, that's a way of saying it.
Are out.
Yeah, that's right.
I can has Wine.
Pretty much. This version comes with a couple of new features. Most importantly, it's possible to detect if EXEs are 32 or 64, and that is definitely something I've run into when I have a 64-bit build, is making sure all that works. That's why I just run 32-bit for gaming under Linux. But virtual desktops are now compatible with Wine 1.5, and that is important if you've ever had a game that you couldn't get to resize and it wouldn't pay attention to your resolution. Enable your virtual desktop. That just nicks that problem right there. And do you know what was most important, man?
No. Tell me.
Bug 1446 has been fixed. Now, I have no idea.
So what is bug 1446 then?
F all if I know, but I'm glad it's fixed, man. I mean, I'll sleep better tonight knowing that bug has been squished.
Wait, you sleep?
Yeah, well, it's kind of upside down. No, never mind. That's neither here nor there. Moving on, man.
So then
Dun,
this
dun, dun,
long
Dun, dun, dun. Now, you didn't know what this was, right?
I really don't. That's because I'm not a Debian or Ubuntu user. But apparently this is a note. GetDeb and PlayDeb has been discontinued.
Yeah, it's kind of a sad day, to be honest with you, but this is on the Google Plus page, and I say, after the server crash, we were also, basically they lost the database, don't want to rebuild it, and what really impressed me, this was one guy doing this. Now, with PlayDeb and GetDeb, it was an app repo and a game repo, and it was really helpful as a game repo just to keep things updated, because you could just put the repo in and install it through Aptitude, apt-get, what have you. And it's been down for a while. It's just nice to see an official explanation. Don't worry, the mirror is up for anyone who would like to continue on with the project, and all the ins and outs and tricks and package generation code has been made available. Sad day. Hate to see something like that go. It's been around for a while, but hey, maybe somebody will pick it up, right?
Well, maybe. That's the nice thing about open source projects is that if it gets dropped, someone may come around and pick it up.
Right. Definitely.
But speaking it up, it's time to gear up.
Gear up. Now, this comes from gamingonlinux.com, one of our friends' sites. And Gear Up, what is it? Well, it's a multiplayer online game where you can build tanks, and I'm already sold.
Yeah. The trailer makes the tanks look a lot like Tachikomas from Ghost in the Shell. But,
What is it with Tachikomas lately, man?
I don't know. People tend to love them.
Fuck Tachikomas.
Oh, I'd say more along the lines of fuck whoever they decided to get to do their voices in the dub anyways. But
Well, I mean, it looks interesting. I mean, it's basically what we're seeing here in the video for your audio listeners. There's a bunch of tanks driving around, destroying the ass out of everything in front of them, but it's multiplayer, a little bit cartoonish, does have some of that Gits feel to it, doesn't it?
yeah, with all the horrible explosions and death and murder. For kids!
Like grandmother used to make, right?
Like Grandma used to make.
Can't go wrong with that, but from the developers, what they say, yes, we are working on a Linux version. It is a native port where all systems in the engine are ported to Linux. No real time frame, but he ends the sentence with, perhaps we can start public testing in 2 to 3 months. So that's something you want to keep your eyes on, right?
Definitely.
Sounds like a plan on that. What do we got now, man?
Got some games, and we got one that we've been covering for a while. Stunt Rally 1 is out.
That was Stunt Rally 1.9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is from freegamer.blogspot.com. Now, have you played Stunt Rally yet? We were going to play it last night, right?
To be fair, driving games aren't really my thing.
I love driving games, and this game it's been fun, but now we have some online thing, but nobody's ever playing it online. But it looks beautiful, and I just wanted to give a shout, because they've been working on it for a long time, as you said earlier. But, with the code revision, this brings 7 new tracks, new graphics, trees, F-trees, and more trees. That's basically what I got out of it. I did have fun playing it because they finally added a option for people who are not fucking insane called Easy, to where you can
Easy mode.
actually navigate the car without you can set a clock to how long I collide with a tree. I love trees in this game. You can tell I played it once or twice. Once or twice, but check that out. That's over at freegamer.blogspot.com. You can always get anything that we mention here in our show notes, man. So, have you checked this out?
Yeah, I was going to say Oolite.
Oolite. I did.
Or is it Ulite? I don't know.
Well, it depends on how you want to look at it, but I didn't know about this game, and the only thing I knew about it was that it was written in Objective-C, and ooh.
GNU step.
Ooh. That's all I have to say about that. But it's oolite.org, and a new version is out. If we go to the download section, now this is more of a developer preview. It looks really simple. This is something that was released on the Mac way back when. But 1.7 comes with some debug, fun stuff, localization, support tools, and all that. We can take a look at some video here.
Play of Elite. This time I'll be playing a bounty hunter who's working his way to the top. Also, I'll be playing the development release of the upcoming version 1.77, which adds graphical improvements and a lot of possibilities for OXPs.
There's always something about space and classical music that just resonates very well.
This would be required. Alright.
But it's important to point out, I mean, which is in the videos, it's a space sim, you fly around, you shoot things, you got missions, it's got a huge community behind it, and more importantly, it's got a ton of graphic mods that make it look like something you might actually want to play, and that's kind of important for a game, isn't it?
Oh yeah, healthy. I've said this for a while. A healthy modding community is vital for a game's success because it extends the value of the game.
And they definitely have that built into this. Check that out again. It is at oolite.org. Grab a copy, free to play, small, teensy-weensy until you get into some of those mods, which are a bit hefty, but like I said, it makes it look nice. And good on that release. So
I ate quite a bit of ice cream last night, and I had something that could be described as a frozen nightmare. Which
you have weird names for your erections, man.
Well, I mean, what else am I going to do with them? But Frozen Nightmare 1.3 brings Linux support, and this is off desura.com/game/frozen-nightmare. And it's another FPS.
Well, yeah, as it's described here, you suddenly wake up with a terrible pain in your head, and I'm guessing that's the ice cream. You feel each of your bones shaking. The cold is indescribable. But, this new version comes with UI upgrades, minimap, radically increased performance. It is using the Unity engine, so chances are it probably is just going to run out of the box.
It just works. Trademarked.
Trademark TM. And you can pick it up on Desura right now, 25% off alpha. That's $5.99 wet stinky cash as opposed to the regular $7.99. I don't know, man. Looking at the video, I mean, it looks very nuts and bolts. I mean, it's a building thing. It's kind of like Minecraft without the ass pixels, right?
I guess. Interesting. I guess, but it's a survival type game.
See, that's what I could get a clear description of. I mean, things like this, especially, I just want to say, when it's such an abstract of a game, you might want to throw a demo out there to let people try it. I understand that $5 is not a lot of money, but I don't throw money away, and I would like to try something like that.
Yeah, it seems interesting. I'll definitely get whirl when I got some free time. But then,
yeah.
Java
Creek. That's right. We're just going to leave that on you while you're doing that. It's the most lovely, heart-wrenching thing I've ever seen. Now that you're no longer doing that, what is it, man? What is that all about? And it better be about Stargate.
Special Unit. It's an Unreal Tournament 2004 modification.
Total conversion.
And it's for one of our favorite shows, Stargate.
Yeah, if you've been following even our after shows, before shows, or just us in general, we are huge SG-1 fans. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this trailer. This critter's been in development for 9 years. And when I mean in development, I don't mean that they've been releasing betas. This has been vaporware until a couple of days ago. When they started developing this, UT 2004 was a new game.
Man, it looks damn impressive, though. And it makes me happy because there have been so many Stargate games that have been, caught in development hell or just canceled. And now there's a way I can drop into one of my favorite sci-fi franchises and kill shit.
Yeah, and it is from a French team, so you got to think about it this way. If they get hit with the DMCA, a takedown notice, they'll just be like, no.
We're French. We're French.
But that does bring up some complications like getting help in the forums, which I think we both run into. There is an international board, but not a whole lot going on in it. I mean, we're trying to do some bug reports, and there's 4 replies to that. Fantastic game. What little I've played, I think we definitely... have you gotten it up and running yet?
No, so everything works up until when I install the mod. Getting UT 2004 up and running on Linux is remarkably easy. Getting the mega pack installed, everything works beautifully. Second I drop the mod in the folder, bad mod dies. Nothing, no output.
I had the absolute backwards experience to that, man. I had a pain in getting the good old games version of UT 2004 up and running. Once I got it, I just dropped the mod in and it worked for me, which, easy peasy, Shame you had trouble with it, but it's something we definitely want to try once we get it up and running, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's definitely going to be one of our one of our LGC players.
Yes, absolutely. But when it comes to playing SG-1 games or anything in the Stargate universe, that's number one. But number two, personally, in my little cockle valve thing of a heart that pumps alcohol through my system, is arcade racing. Huge fan of Trackmania. Outside of Skyrim, the only other game I have installed in Wine that I play occasionally. We need racing games on Linux and these guys, and we don't normally say anything about Kickstarters, but here it is, the 90s Arcade Racer. Brilliant name, right?
Oh, yeah. Very descriptive.
Well, I mean, it gets the job done,
Oh, yeah.
But you'll see here, let's get a little bit of this video goodness going, maybe. Yes. This is an arcade game for PC, Mac, and Linux, and hopefully, oh yeah, that thing's still around.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Get
yeah.
it?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. This was inspired by Scud Race, Daytona USA, and Indy 500. Like I said, let's get to the racing. Racing.
Yes, let's get to the racing.
I'm just gonna throw this out here. Gotta get to the racing before
before we fall asleep at our microphones.
There we go, right here. Yeah. See, I would love this. I would digest this. If it's online multiplayer, I'm done with that, man. I will get it. Yeah.
They're about 1/10 of the way to their goal, though, so how many days do they have left?
28 days to go. You want to check this out? I'm not going to bother trying to give you the URL. Check it out in our show notes. Will be posted later tonight, early tomorrow morning.
Or just search Kickstarter and the 90s Arcade Racer.
The 90s Arcade. They have 1,085 pounds at a pledge goal of 10,000. 28 days to go. 10 quid picks up a copy of the game. 15 or more picks up a copy of the game. That makes no logical sense. $30 or more, you get a physical copy. And keep in mind that this is in pounds, so even at 10, you're pushing close to about 17 wet, stinky American dollars on that. But as I said, love arcade races, and that's one thing Linux sorely needs.
What, Tux Kart's not doing it for you?
Man, I was so happy when they revamped. Do you remember the original Tux Kart? Did you ever play that?
I never played the original Tux Kart.
Holy hell, it was bad. Ultimore just threw a link in the chat room for the 90s Arcade Racer. Good on you, sir, for doing that. Yeah, Tux Kart looked horrible.
You got to be really quick with clicking pause on the video if you want to catch that URL. Better just go for the show notes.
Yeah. How about no? Yeah. One more time. Dance, puppets, dance. So, check that out. Throw them some money that way. I'd love to see a project like this succeed. But be warned, sir, who's developing this, you better have Linux support or we will just burn you. I mean, we've had this issue with Ignite Racing way back in the day. That's going to wrap it up, man, except for a little bit of, what's that stuff called?
We got some, it's mail time.
Mail time. Or
mail time.
Yay.
And speaking of GCW, we got some mail from one of their developers.
Now, before we get into this, I still have to situate the whole thing in my brain organ that this is not me and Jordan's little experiment to see if we can get some type of video show just for shits and giggles up and running. That we're a thing now, right? Is that?
Yeah, people notice us. That's kind of weird.
So when I get, we post a little bit of a video about, or just a mention in our podcast, then a fucking developer on the project writes us back. Go.
Yeah, so they say, thanks for featuring the GCW Zero in your show. I'm one of the developers behind it, and if you have any questions, Sorry, guestions.
Questions.
I'd be glad to answer. Is he hinting that he wants to be a guest on our show?
I didn't pick that up, but I'll tell you what, guys. If you're watching this one, if you could send maybe Jordan a free unit, not a free unit, a loaner unit for review, we could definitely have you guys on.
I got a bunch of time on the bus ride to work to kill, so
that's going to be the guy to give it a proper rundown. And of course, we return all of our review units. And good luck. Hope in the next few days you guys finish that project out. And if you do that, like I said, send us a unit. What do we got next, man?
What do we got next? We got from Jonah. And Jonah has asked us something that we've constantly been getting. And he says, Ven Stone, have you considered publishing the program you use to switch to different screens while streaming, or making it open source? I know a lot of people will be interested in it, as Linux continues popularity as a gaming and streaming platform. Great show, by the way. Thank you. Now, Ven, you have a very entertaining response to this.
What? Oh, no.
I said you have a...
I do? I didn't think it was very entertaining.
I found it damn entertaining.
Well, let me make sure I don't see my entertaining response there.
Well, then if he's not going to say it, I guess I'm going to have to summarize it with less gravitas than would. But this is not a piece of software. This is a kludge of hardware, software, and black voodoo magic from beyond.
No, I mean, that's definitely give Mr. Svang credit for that, because he was the one who realized a few days ago, because we were talking about, Jordash, which is the new name.
It's no longer Vengeance. I'm not a fan of this, but I think we might end up having to name it after Pedro.
Well,
neutral third party.
Current working title is now Jordash, no longer Vengeance.
Vengeance.
But, as he pointed out, I mean, it's not just the software at this point. I mean, basically, it would be like a J-box or something like that in order to get all this.
We need to actually manufacture a unit and ship it out. This is like a nightmarish kludge solution that is not. It's not even ready for public use.
It's not even ready for what we're using it for right now. We're doing this the entire thing except with our toes, because we're really talented like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of the long and short of that. I mean, all the code that. See, that's my biggest thing. I never set up a revision repository when I'm doing stuff like this. So when I get around to doing that, I'll send out the little bits, but they won't mean anything to anyone. But I'll do it because, we're not trying to turn this into a profit game or anything like that. So
indeed.
Let's talk about some ways to find out about the LinuxGameCast thingy, right? Since we're about to wrap this part up.
You can check us out at LinuxGameCast.com. You can check us out at live.linuxgamecast.com Sundays at 8 p.m.-ish. You can give us some money if you go to Linux Game, if you click on the podcast section.
That's right, Altamore, give them money. Smart man.
Money! And click on our Amazon affiliate link. That's probably the best way to fund us, because it doesn't really cost you anything.
Man, you're right about that, and I even put a nice big Amazon link on top of the little PayPal things, and as Jordan said, you can subscribe through his iTunes, Video SD, HD, and Audio standard feeds with a PayPal one-time. $3.50 a month. I could always use about $3.50. Couldn't you use about...
I could use about $3.50.
Yeah.
Or if you're feeling real generous, you can give us a monthly recurring payment of $10.
$10, and that would help out. Like I said, Jordan went out today, and I mean, he spent a lot of his valuable time, in queue, waiting for something, and we're throwing our own money into this any little bit. If it's $2, that helps.
All money donated to us goes to making the show better. This is not for our profit.
Right, and so we're going to need a lot of money to do a lot better. $10 a month, I'll let you name the cup. All right, simple as that. Fair? That sounds fair.
Yeah.
Put it right there.
We already got the T. Brown Memorial microphone.
That is the T. Brown Memorial microphone, man. Absolutely. That came from one of you guys, so help us out with that. You can always find us at Linux Gamecast. Wait, hang on. Cue the music. Boom. LinuxGameCast.com. Check us out on YouTube /LinuxGameCast. And as always, he's Jordan Svang at the Burning Fool, plus Jordan Svang on the G+. Well, you need to get more active on those G+, man.
I'm a very quiet person when it comes to social media, but you can find this guy occasionally cleverly hidden at Venstone on the Twitters or plus Venstone on the Google Pluses. And I will endeavor to make a couple more posts. I'm usually very quiet about things. I'll usually not say anything unless I have something to say. But that about wraps it up.
Yeah, I think we just need to, what's that? Oh, yes. Wave to the lovely people.